Hi, and welcome to another episode of How to Make a Dollar. Today, my guest is Andrew from Infinite Shelf Design. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Hey everyone. I'm stoked to be here. I'm doing pretty well actually, like scaling my business and all the other stuff. So yeah, and I'm stoked to share what I build and how I build it. I
I'm happy
guess
to
that's
hear
good.
that. Yeah, so Infinite Shelf Design is all about designing products, UX, from websites to SaaS to mobile apps. How did you get into design, Andrew?
So I got into design probably 3 years ago, and I started with the worst courses you can get. They were about web design, and like they didn't give any basics about typography, grids, like colors and all the other stuff. Like, they just said, hey, this is Figma, this is how to use it, and you'll probably get some clients after you finish this course. So it was utterly bad. Then 1 year later, I got into design school in Russia. It's called Bank Banning Education, and I got some really, really cool knowledge there. I had a mentor, Svet Vishnikov. He's really well known for his typography and grids, of course. And then I finished the course on mobile design, and since then, pretty much my career had started. So yeah, I've been doing apps, UX, UI, and product design for 2 years intentionally, and 1 year before
Wow.
that was web design. Yeah.
Right. And what do you feel most people fail to understand about design? Because it's quite a tricky thing, especially for bootstrapping indie hackers out there. What do people mo mostly fail to understand about design?
So there are several perspectives, I guess. There are perspective of a worker, of the regular 9 to 5 guy. There is a perspective of a freelancer. There is a perspective about what's right and what's wrong about design from standpoint of business, from standpoint of different products. So I guess I can say like from two perspective of a freelance worker, and from a former like startup worker, because I also worked at the 9 to 5. That was watches.io. Really like strong guys. They're from Miami. They're building a product for tracking the value of watches. So the thing everyone fails to understand it is everyone tries to sell the design as a pretty image. So you do nice screens, you do all the other stuff, but at the end of the day, you don't get any results for your business. So the point is, and this is also my point at the Infinite Shelf, that we can make a design that will give you as much like as much value as possible. So, for example, at the previous startup, we really changed the UX UI. So we got better feedback from the users. We got better visual looks. And as a result, we got more investment. More people started to get interested in the product. So the main thing about design is to make a product so good that it will like invite more investments, and it will make users happy, and it will generate more revenue for the business. So yeah, I think it's the most important thing about
Cool.
design, which everyone fails to understand.
Right. Now, I really want to have a look at some of your work at Infinite Shelf Design, but before we get there, can we maybe list three tips that you'd give just the average person out there looking to design the website, make their app or SaaS look better? Three tips that you have and would always like to share.
Three things that may be tricky, but the first thing is try to make it about your user and your audience. If you get the message right, if you get the website layout right, if you make all the sections go in the right order, so the user will convert, you'll make the right thing, both with web design or web app or native app. You gotta listen to your audience. Also, don't forget about visuals, because if you're an aspiring designer, you'll probably get your first clients only if you have some nice visuals. And this is how I actually got my first like work, got my first job, because I had the portfolio. So yeah, second is portfolio and visuals. And the third one is, I don't know, listen to your clients, but also because you're a designer, you're like a doctor for a product. So be a doctor, you know, advise the things that will work good, and you can't go wrong with that. And obviously, don't be a bad person. Like, you don't have to argue, you don't have to ruin your relationships with client. Just be nice, be a doctor, have good visuals, and make everything about your audience.
Cool. So show us the best SaaS you designed to date. I'm really curious to see what you've been up to at Infinite Shelf Design.
So we have a really cool project right now. I hope you can see the screen.
Yep.
So yeah, let me do that really quick. So this one is an inventory tracker. It doesn't have any NDA, so I'm allowed to show that. And yeah, basically we're doing the SaaS that will allow restaurant owners to track their inventory. Oh, I can hide the Figma UI, but all right. So basically, yeah, there are a lot of screens. It is like pre-MVP version. So we just rough drafting all the things. And like, this is my first product where I do everything by myself, where I lead the team of graphic designer, myself, another project designer, where I set all the deadlines. So yeah, I think it is the best SaaS I do up to date, because like, you know, I'm my own boss here. And also the guy who works with me, he is really stoked about the product we're building. Like, he's also involved and he's happy to what is turning out here. So if
Yeah.
that's good, show you
Mm-hmm.
the mobile I designed.
Right. Yeah, let's have a look at a mobile app now.
So yeah, that was a project a long ago. I mean, 1 year ago. That was the test task for vk.com, which is the biggest social media in Russia. And they said, hey, dude, like, can you redesign the marketplace so it converts better, it has more retention? And I said, yes, of course. So yeah, that was a really big project. So the first thing I had to do is to list all the UX problems that could have hindered the user experience. So yeah, this is like the first list with all the design heuristics and what was wrong with the marketplace at the time. Then the second part, of course, was a lot of research. Like, I did a lot of wireframing, a lot of like this UX design stuff, user interviews, journey maps, like cards, and all the other stuff like card sorting. So, and the most probably important thing about this project is the flow optimization. Despite that, the K.com have every data about you, because you spend time in the social media and they have your name, they have your phone number, your address, but for some reason they don't allow you to autofill all the information when you want to buy a product. And like, it's a big pain when you have to input all the fields manually. And this is where probably 70% of the users will drop off, because they want to buy a little thing, they are low on commitment, and you just making them and put all these different fields and it doesn't make good. So yeah, improved the flow here by 68%. It has become simpler by 68%. Also, I did a lot of free design. I made a lot of tweaks to hierarchy, typography, layout. And like, at the end of the day, yeah, I also redesigned the product card itself, checkout
Awesome.
flow. Yeah, so the readability and legibility of the interface improved by 300%. Also, like, the data and the score of aesthetic, it is when you ask your user how he feels about the interface, it went from 7 to 9. So users get more satisfied, which means 20% improvement, which is not bad. Like, imagine 20% improvements in conversions. So yeah, that is it. I guess those were my two best projects so far.
Right. That's some solid stuff, Andrew. Really good. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. So tell me, how does anybody who wants to work with you get in touch with you? I know you have two plans, so maybe you can explain how your subscription plans work.
Yeah, at the first place, I'm deciding to go back to basics, because I don't want to handle additional developers in my team. I don't want to really like handle other staff members for now. I'm going back to product design. So yeah, I'll do another tweak to my offer, but how to get in touch with me. So I have a website, I have a Calendly, and basically if you're an owner and you have an idea, you just simply can slide into my DMs. We can talk there, or you can book a call and describe what you do, what's your product. And like after the scheduling call, of course, we can talk. And like, yeah, I'm always stoked to work on interesting products. And also recently, the guy contacted me. He's from San Francisco, like, where all the startups born. And he wants to he wants to revolutionize the email. Like, unfortunately, I can't share much details. I can't share anything, but yeah, that should be a really big and exciting project. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll put all your details in the description down below. But other than
Yeah.
that, it was really awesome chatting. Great to learn more about design with you, and can't wait to take away the lessons and implement them myself as well.
Yeah, Brian, thanks a lot for having me here. Like, you're a nice guy.
Sweet. Thanks. Cheers. All right. Thanks everybody for listening.